And there we go. Perfect. Move that up there. All right. I'm not going to mute anybody. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to shout them out. I'm just going to be going through just like the typical live studios that we did back in unit 1. And because you came to join me, I will also give you a sneak preview. The next 3, I believe, will actually be live ones. I know those will be live. This one I was not expecting to be live. So the next few will actually be working together here. And then there's a few recorded at the very end. But yeah, just shout out the questions as you have them. I'm going to be reading through the directions and working it through that way. So if there's no questions before we start, I will just dive into it. But anything that you guys want to focus on, or you gals, I just have gals here with me today. Anything in particular that you would want me to focus on as I go through this? Anything in particular? No? Okay. If anything comes to mind, just let me know.
All right.
All right, starting with 10.6 Studio Skills Tracker. Wouldn't it be nice to have a small tracker to show us what skills we have built and where we are at learning them? Let's build something that would let us do that. As always, read through the entire studio before starting. We should always do that, but I'm not going to. But don't tell anybody as I'm being recorded.
All right.
At the end of the studio, your final project should be able to take input from a user via a form and then post the information as an easy way to read. All right, 10.6.1, start up Spring. 10.6.1.1, using the Spring initializer. Head to Spring initializer without that E, worse spelling than me, to initialize a new Spring project. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that link there. Move that down. And I'm going to go back over here for a moment. For the project, select Gradle project. All right, Gradle project. Select Java. Make sure Java is selected. Perfect. And for Spring Boot, select 2.4x, whichever is the most for non-Snapchat. So I know this stuff was written in like 2019, back in the good old days. And so that means we're going to go here to 2.6.0, a non-Snapchat version, snapshot version. My mind's in the mindset of a millennial right now. There we go. So we were at 2.6 and that's not Snapchat. Perfect. For the project metadata, we use org.launchcode. I'm going to go ahead and copy that just to save me a few typing. And then the group is skills tracker as the artifact. So I'm going to go ahead here. The group is org.launchcode, and the artifact they said is skills tracker. Just like that. Let's see what else they want us to do. Also remember to expand options so you can make sure that you use Java 11. So make sure Java 11 is selected. All right, Java 11 is selected. Cool. Finally, we want to add Spring Web and Spring DevTools as our dependencies. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Add dependencies. So they said Spring Web. Add dependencies. Oh gosh, what was the other one? Spring DevTools. I'm going to assume they mean Spring Boot DevTools, just like that. There we go. All right, make sure everything is checked. Real quick, if anybody wants to know what a WAR file versus a jar file are, jar is how we make executables through Java. Jar is that executable. If you're on a Windows machine, you'll typically see .exe. You might have seen that in your time with a Windows machine. The equivalent to that in Java is actually a .jar. Jars are types of libraries you can use in Java to bring into a project and utilize the code that way. So that's why we keep selecting jar there. All right, we are on now to, double check that everything is good and then go click generate. All right, so everything is good. We already checked that. Move, zoom out of the way, click generate. And there we go. We download skills.zip into my downloads. My gosh. And you know what the sad thing is, I even had coffee. All right, I don't need Pet Store right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and move that to trash, just so we can have skill tracker out there. All right, as always, if you're on a Mac, you will double click in order to make that separate folder. If you're on Windows, you're going to want to unzip the file, or, oh my gosh, what's that word? Anybody on a Windows machine that knows what I'm talking about? Extract. Make sure you extract your zips. Regardless, you're going to be worried more about the folder, not the .zip in general. Once that new folder is created, we can actually move this to the trash because we want to keep that folder there. That's what's important. Fantastic. Any questions up until this point? All right, if not, we're going to move on to 10.6.1.2, launching IntelliJ. Wow, this is going to be a difficult one now. Unzip the newly generated skills tracker.zip. That's what we did and moved that into our home working directory. In this case, I just moved it to my desktop just because I'm just going to keep it here so I know after this whole thing, I can just move it to the trash because we won't probably need it anytime. At least I won't need it. I would say keep it for you, though, for your references. Open IntelliJ and select Import Project. Double-click Boot Run. Okay. Hold on, Kyle. Let's go and at least just open this up. So I'm going to open IntelliJ. Thank you, fire truck. Yes, I know you're there. All right. Come on, IntelliJ. You got this. Where are you at, buddy? No, you don't want to move? How about now? Maybe? Nope, still no?
Did you update? Because it took me like 4 hours to update mine last night.
Everybody's saying that, and no, I am not updating. There we go. Okay, it was just that was not. You're just being. No, I heard the update is just very, very big. Long.
Oh my God,
it takes
it's
a long
huge.
time. So I do not update. I'm very conservative on my software views, where I like to keep it traditional and
the way it is.
and the way it is working. It's working. Unless you force me to update, I am not going anywhere.
Man.
All right. So once you have your IntelliJ open, Windows looks a little bit different, but here for Mac, I'm going to click Open or Import. For Windows, you're just going to go to that File and Open or Open Project. It's going to bring you to this, so we got to go and select it. It's under My Desktop, and then I single-click Skills Tracker. Remember, we're going to open up the folder, not individual files, the folder, the project. Single-click that, press Open. That's going to open up our IntelliJ window, but not in the right screen. Let me go and bring that down so we can all see it together. Here we go. It's going to build my Gradle. Again, Gradle is just like NPM. It's going to build all of those libraries that we need to run Spring Boot and run Spring Boot Web. So I'm going to give it a second. Anybody got a good joke? Anything? No?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Come on, Eva. Give me something here.
None that would be appropriate.
I would say share it, but we are, yeah.
We're live.
Being famous right now. We're live. There we go.
Tell us after. I do want to laugh, though.
Perfect timing. Our Gradle's done building. Awesome. Let's go ahead and see what our instructions say next. We can probably read its mind, but we're just going to read through just in case. Double click boot run and head to localhost 8080. Okay, didn't give us a lot of context there. If we remember in lecture there, boot run is going to be under Gradle on the far right here. So we click Gradle, then we open tasks, open application, and double click boot run there. This will start building our server, the server that's going to actually run our web application in Java. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to head over to localhost 8080. Here in a moment, make sure it starts. There we go. It is all started. We can know this because if we look over here, it says started skill tracker at 6.85 seconds because it needs to boast a little bit. So there we go. We come over here now, open up a new tab, and I'm going to type in localhost port 8080. Why 8080? It's an arbitrary port that we know 8080 never works on. It's actually very popular to be doing in development on port 8080 because we know that nothing important is using that port. If you're wondering how many ports that we have about 35 to 36,000 ports on our machine. There you go, Kyle's random fact of the day. Will you ever use that information? Probably not, but now you have it. Enjoy, trivia nights. All right, we have successfully launched our stuff. So, we're already there. We've headed to localhost 8080. There's nothing there. It's now time to start coding the fun part. All right, on to 10.6.2, creating controllers. In your org.launch code package, add another package called controllers and add a class called skill controller. I'm going to copy skills controller there. Let's go ahead and do that now before we keep reading on. Where that org.launch code is actually under source, under main, under Java, and then we see this org.launch code at skills tracker. And here is where we're actually going to create that controller. So I right click, press new, go down to package, and I type in controllers. here is where it wants us to create the new class in the controllers. Remember, what do controllers do? Can anyone tell me as I'm creating this class? What do controllers do?
It
Come on.
deals with request and response from the MVC.
So it's part of the MVC. It's the C of MVC, but you are absolutely correct. It is the master of those requests and responses. It takes in requests and spits out responses. So you are absolutely right. So we just created our skills controller. Awesome, awesome. And that is that important first piece we need in the MVC architecture. All right, inside the skills controller, you will add several methods to accomplish the following, and then it gives us a whole list of things to do. At localhost 8080, add text that states the 3 possible programming language someone could be working on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to, oh, okay, it gives us a little thing. Oh, thank gosh. All right, down here it tells us what they want. I was like, which programming language do you want to put? At localhost 8080, add the text that states that. Okay, so you'll need to have an H1 with skills tracker, H2, and OL containing 3 programming languages of your choosing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, and I'm gonna bring that over here to our controller. So this is our directions. Now, who can tell me, in order to get this controller actually working like a controller, what do I need to add to it that's not given to me automatically?
A controller.
Very good, yeah, we need to add that annotation. Where do we need to add it?
Does it go above the method?
Above your class.
Above the class, very good. But you are close, Melanie. We will be adding something above those methods as well. But for the controller, we need to add up here. Controller. Very good. There we go. All right, so we have our controller up there. And now we need to start building our homepage. Now, another trick question, because you know what? You chose to be here. So I'm going to keep quizzing you the whole time. What is the root or home directory? When we're at localhost 8080, what is our home path, our home? Oh, well, basically that's the correct name for it, the home path. What would it be? We need to create a get mapping for it.
Oh, that's a trick question. I was going to say get mapping. It's not get mapping?
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you that. We need to start by putting a get mapping. But remember, what do we put inside the parentheses of our get mapping there?
You can't leave it blank.
You technically can leave it blank. It goes by something by default. Let me make sure actually, yeah, let's see if we can just leave it blank. I think it has. And then our second annotation I'm just gonna give to you is called response body, so we can actually return something. So I wanna make sure that after we put this here, we can just create an arbitrary method to create this home page. So what is the accessor type for these methods?
We put after that public string.
Public, yeah, that accessor public, very good, public. And then our return type is always
String.
very good, string, and create homepage. Just call it that. You can name it whatever you want though. And right now I'm just gonna return empty string and make sure all of our errors go away. All right, there we go. We have a get mapping and a response body. Remember, a get mapping, this is something we haven't really talked about too much in lecture, but we started at the tip of the iceberg of it. Get is when we see things. That's when we ask for information. Show me this website. That's a get mapping or a get request. So we want to see the website. We want to see our title with those 3 programming languages. So that's where we're going to start here. Now, this is where we need to start building our website to for people to see and possibly interact with in the future. How do we start building websites?
HTML.
HTML.
Very good. And then what's next? If we just want to see things.
The body.
The body. Very good. We're just going to do body. We don't need to put the head in there just because we're working with a string. It'd be a pain in the tush to keep doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and close these up too while I'm at it. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and see what I needed. It tells me up here. So I need to have an H1 with the title of string skills tracker. So I'm gonna do H1 with skills tracker, just like that. Perfect. And then the next thing we need to do was an OL. Can someone tell me what OL stands for?
Unordered list.
Actually, that would be
ordered list.
Yeah,
Ordered
very
list.
good. UL is unordered, OL is ordered. So, but good, you still got list there. So OL, awesome, awesome. And then what we're gonna do here, we're gonna just keep it nice and pretty. We don't want things look pretty, /OL. So this is kind of where it gets like to your own creativity. I mean, HTML is like just like all coding, it's painting. So paint it however you want. In this case, I'm gonna put H2 here, and I'm gonna put, we'll say Java, because that's our number one right now, isn't it? Even though we probably missed JavaScript at this point. H2, oh, come on, H2, we'll say JavaScript. And then anybody have another one? Not Python. Anybody got a language that they know about that maybe we haven't talked about?
Ruby.
Ruby, all right, very good. Anybody else got another one that they've heard of?
I've never heard of Ruby. I might look that up.
Ruby is a Slate scripting language that's used. Actually, it can be used in HTML websites also. So Ruby, Ruby on Rails, things like that. I've never actually worked with it directly, but I know it was very
React
popular.
a language or just a framework?
Technically, I believe it's, take it with a grain of salt. I've never worked with it, so I don't know if it's implementations, but I believe the scripting it's kind of like a PHP, I believe, to make pages more interactive. So it kind of sugarcoats HTML, if I'm remembering correct. But if you know an implementation of it, let me know, because I am always open to learning new things. Oh gosh, guys, I am missing one thing. Excuse me, gals, I am missing one thing here in my ordered list. What am I missing for each of our items here?
LI.
What do I, thank you, Binky, thank you. LI, list item. I forgot my LIs here. Great, great, great. All right, /LI, perfect. So now it is all done. What I'm gonna do now, I remember you have to stop our server. So we know it's running because we see this little ticker here moving around and around. So we can click the red button here or the red button on here. Either one will stop our server. We're gonna click that and then click the green play button. This will restart our server and therefore helping us build our website. There we go, started that. Let's go back over here. I'm gonna press Command and R or Control R to refresh. And look at that, we have now Java, JavaScript, and Ruby. Let's go back over to our studio and make sure this is what we need to do. Oh, okay, it wants us to do something else. Oh, it wanted us to have an H2 of this. I thought they want us to do H2 of the stuff. Okay. Well, be more descriptive then next time, launch code. Give me 1 second. IntelliJ is catching up. There we go. So what I'm going to need to do there is just put H2 there. Skills and stuff. Woo! And so it looks like what they want us to. There we go, there we go, and there we go, perfect. Save that as always. And then you can also click this one too. This will ask you if you want to restart or stop and rerun. You can do that too. There's two different ways you can restart your server. You can press the big red button and then press the green button, or that little loop green arrow right there to stop and rerun your server. Either one works. All right, we're all good there. Refresh one more time. And now we're looking a little bit better. We have our stuff in the correct format and our H2 and our H1. Cool. Any questions about that? Real quick, what I do want to call out. Oh yeah, please.
I'll say that was the easy part.
Oh, it's the easy part. Okay.
I mean, yeah,
right.
no, I'm talking about we kind of flew through that. I'm not talking about like with you, but like it was more easier to like get it. So nothing against the teaching, Cal. Nothing against the teaching.
All right, let's keep going deeper then. Let's get to the hard stuff. Let's get in the mud. All right. Real quick, what I do want to call out is I asked that question, what's our root directory whenever we go to localhost 8080? I promise it wasn't a trick question. What it actually is this just single slash. This means our home directory, aka localhost 8080. Or this slash would also mean google.com, whatever the root path or the root directory would be. That's what I was looking for too. But also by default, that's what this is. So I just take this out it's the same thing. They're basically synonymous of each other. So that's what I was looking for, but you're absolutely correct. We can just put get mapping there. All right, let's get in the mud. Let's take it up a notch. End result, at the end of the studio, you will navigate to localhost 8080. See the following. We saw that. When you navigate to localhost 8080/form, you should see a blank form that looks something like this. All right, launch code. Taking it up a second. Let's go ahead and do this one then. So it looks like we have a name, a selector, and a selector, and a submit button. Okay, let's do this thing. What do I need to do to start? If I need to create /form, because that's what we need to begin with, because that's what it asks.
Yeah, get mapping form.
Very good. There we go. I won't say response body here again. Say public string create form. There we go. And we're not going to even mess around here. We are going to get into this HTML. And you know what? Kyle's lazy. Give me that stuff. I don't want to work with it. Here we go. So I just copied and pasted that beginning, ending portion of our HTML, and we're going to start creating this form now. Let's go back over here. So I see that we begin with labels, and then we see a text box, and then we see the selectors. So what surrounds all of our form all the time? The answer is our form tag. So we're going to start with form there. We always want to start with our form tag if it's a form. So now let's go ahead and start building our stuff. We had a label there. That, EL. It said name. And then we had an input of type what?
Text.
Text.
Very good, text. And then we're going to say name. Name is going to be, well, name, because that's what the name of the name is. Look at that being easy. All right. The naming part, not actually creating the form. Forms can always be tricky. All right, next thing was the selectors. My favorite language, Java. Okay, so you should see them blank like this. So if you fill out the form, your page may render like so, Java, JavaScript, Python. Okay, so it says my favorite language. All right, so what this wants to do is that it's asking for your favorite languages. So this is kind of not told very clearly, but we need to populate these selectors with various programming languages. And we're gonna use the 3 that we created beforehand. Above all, we need to go ahead and create first just the input. So we'll say label, say my first language of choice. And we're gonna say /label just so we don't forget, because selector is gonna get a little tricky there. And I'm actually forgetting how to do selectors in HTML, so I'm gonna do that. Selector, HTML. W3 School should, ooh, Google went dark theme, what? That's so neat. It's the little things that get me through the day, it really is.
Small things.
Okay, this is a CSS selector. I do not need a CSS selector. I don't need things to look pretty right now. I need things to work. So let's go back. Come on, computer, you got this. There we go. HTML select. HTML select and HTML. There we go, HTML select tag, make. Here's what I need. This is what we're looking for. And you know what I'm gonna do here?
Copy and paste.
Copy.
Exactly. Because we are gonna tell our boss we typed it out by hand, but we know we didn't. There we go. All right. Sorry about this. My computer is just taking so much time. All right.
It's that new update. I'm telling you, I was forced to do it myself.
Yeah, it is something, that's for sure. And it is being a pain in the tush. All right. All right, I don't need no new lines there. I need those options. Perfect. You know what? We'll just leave the slash. Whatever. We'll just leave slash in there. I don't care. So why it's doing this, if you're wondering, this slash means a special character is coming up. So you can't put quotes inside of quotes, as you've already noticed. But if you put the backslash in front of it, it actually says, hey, let me put quotes here, double quotes in there. So this is how you could actually inject double quotes within double quotes for a string, if you're wondering what this is. All right, so right now we're gonna go ahead and say, okay, the name is first lang for first language. And our value is going to be Java. And then Java. This one's going to be JavaScript. JavaScript. And then Ruby. Ruby. Take out that last option because we just don't need it. There we go. Let's go and save this, restart, because it's also always good to stop and rerun to make sure that your program is on the right track. Don't wait until the very end to compile and see a bunch of red or see a bunch of stuff you have no idea how it got there. Baby steps all the way. Go back over to localhost 8080, refresh. We're gonna still see the same exact homepage, but we're gonna go to form now. And there we go. We see name and my choice, or my first language of choice in that. But I'm seeing this on two different lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert here a break, just a line break. So I see that. I think that's how it works. I'm not going to stop and go. That's why we do baby steps. I hope it's BR. I think it's BR. I always forget. And started. There we go. Let's go and refresh. All right. We are on our way. We have another one. Let's go and see what that form looks like actually in the rendering. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That's close. Well, let's make it a little bit closer. We'll put a break here too. Technically, I'm supposed to be doing that. Just by true convention. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, did we end that label? We totally did not. So we're gonna say /label there. Perfect. And what we're gonna do now, copy this and paste it twice more for our second language of choice. Second lang. And then my third language of choice. All right, everyone, we're getting there. We're getting there. Any questions so far? And you have to pay attention and keep talking to me because there's only 3 of you, so I can keep eyes on all y'all. Let's go ahead and refresh and see what we got here now. What was that?
When you go to start the project, like if you've already set it up and you're just coming back to it at another point, do you always want to do that boot run thing before you start?
It's a safer way to do it. Technically, it should remember your configuration when you reopen IntelliJ, but also we know IntelliJ can be un-IntelliJ sometimes. So I would just say run it by boot run just for a safer way every time you reopen it.
Okay.
Great question. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a few more BRs here just because we want to make things look a little bit prettier. I'm gonna add at the very end here. There we go, but we'll worry about that later. Let's go back over to our form. We are missing one more thing. We have our name and then submit. So we need to do a submit button. We want to do submit. We come down here, we say input type equals sub. Well, let's just keep going with the convention. / quotes submit. Oh, I am. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't want type. That's supposed to be value. So our button changes. Say type equals / quotes submit with all lowercase. There we go. Just like that. And then plus at the end, because we're making a giant string here to pass back in our response from our controller. All right, let's go and restart and see what we see now. Stop and rerun. Ooh. What time is it? 7:04, all right. I'm gonna go back over to our local host, refresh. Look at that, it is looking nice. Our form's almost there. Heck yeah. All right, the only thing that's different, course, my OCD is shining through. I'm going to go ahead and put a BR right here also. You might be asking yourself too why I put this slash here. Technically, that's convention. It should always have a slash there. But HTML is kind of forgiving in the sense where if you don't put it there, it's fine. JavaScript's not, or sorry, HTML is not going to yell at you or anything like that. I just do that for peace of mind in myself, just because everybody always gets a slash no matter what. But BR is one of those special ones, like, I don't really care if you do or not. All right. So we're good there. Let's see what happens if we submit something. Let's say Kyle, and then my first name is language, or first language is Java, second one is JavaScript, third one is Ruby. Press submit. All right, did anyone see what happened? It's like one of those paranormal shows. Like, did you see it?
No.
Who saw the ghost? Who saw the change? What happened when I clicked submit?
I don't switch to Java,
do it
didn't it?
again.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, watch one more time. I'll do it one more time, all right? It's reset. I press submit. What happened?
Y'all switched to Java.
It redirected you to Kyle, first language, second language.
Very good. But you're also correct. It did reset our form, but the biggest thing to take away from this is that it redirected or updated our path up here. We now see a bunch of what? What are these called?
Parameters?
They're called very good. Absolutely, URL parameters. And we know that because it starts with a question mark and they're separated. So we have name equals Kyle and they're separated by ampersands. So yeah, these are URL parameters up here. So it's actually transmitting that information you just filled in the form to somewhere. Now, when we're transmitting information like that somewhere, what kind of request are we doing? We transmit.
We're posting it?
Very good. Absolutely, Hope. Very, very good. We are posting information. So when we click submit, we are actually doing a post. Hence, when you saw back in class up here in the form, what we did is that we said method equals post. By default, it's always post. But you might have seen that in class. We said in the form that attribute, the attribute method equals post up here. So we're going to post the information out there. Awesome. We're going to need to keep that in mind as we move forward to the next part. All right, so we created this form. Everything's working properly. If you fill out the form, your page may render like so. So now we need to render this information. So this is interesting. So it doesn't say what page needs to render. I'm assuming it means the home page, I guess. I don't exactly know. Did you guys do, whenever you did this portion, if you did that, did you do it on your home page or did you make a new page for it? Or did you just do it under the form page?
Under the form page.
Under the form page? Okay, let's go and do it under the form page. It didn't say what page, so I'm assuming form. So we're actually gonna have to create something for our slash form. So what are we gonna have to do? What's the next step we're gonna take here? Anybody have any ideas?
The post mapping?
Absolutely, we're gonna do a post mapping. And then what are we gonna put in here?
Add?
Form?
We're actually gonna do the same exact URL or the same path. So it's gonna be slash form.
Okay.
Because we wanna post to the same page. We wanna post to the same page. I'm gonna import that class. As always, we wanna do a response body. But now this one's gonna look a little different. I'm gonna say public void or public string, because we always do the string return type for this. Public string.
Respond. Is it respond?
Sure, we can just say respond. Respond to form submission or something like that. And then we have these parentheses. Now, this is where some things are gonna get a little different. What are we gonna do here? Anybody have any ideas?
Put our information that we're getting.
Very good, absolutely. And how are we gonna start doing that? Give me one of them.
So the name.
How do we start doing that? How are we gonna get the name in here?
The the request parameter.
Yeah.
Very good.
Request
Request parameter annotation. That's how we begin. Awesome, awesome. And it's going to be a string. And remember, what's the one thing we need to keep in mind always when we're creating these request parameters? It needs to stay the same exact name as what it is in the parameters. So we say name. What do I mean by that? I mean, if we come over here to our local host, we have to make sure that name, or whatever our parameter's name is the exact same as what's in our method parameters. So name is the first one, and it's a string. So let's go ahead and keep adding this. Request param, string, first lang was the second one, I believe. Yep, first lang, second lang, and then third lang. That's what we're gonna add here. And it's gonna get a little big. So I'm gonna close out of that, close out of that. There we go. Make it a little bit easier for you all to read. Second lang, third lang, awesome. All right, then we're gonna return a string. So I'm gonna return empty quotes right now. And I wanna take a look at what we have to render. If I come down here, what does this look a lot like? Did we already build something that kind of looks like that?
Our top form.
Exactly,
home.
that top form, that home page, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be the best lazy developer out there as always. I'm gonna copy that return. Come down here.
Not as always, Cal.
Oh, you don't know me then. I am a lazy developer, trust me. All right, so what we need to do is now match up all this information. What I just did was I took out that H2. Why did I take out the H2? We don't have one in there. This clearly looks like an H1. Of course, that's just me looking at it. Like, it could be an H2, but I'm gonna say it's an H1, whatever. We're gonna not argue over little technicalities. We have H1 there, and now it's time to just insert that information. Gene, I'm assuming, is the name. So I'm going to put my name information in here. So I'm gonna say name.
That's actually my middle name. That's crazy.
Really? There you
Yep.
go. Eva Jane, awesome, awesome. All right, we're gonna put quotes around that, and now we're gonna put in the first lang. Just like that. Put quotes around that, backspace plus second lang. And then finally, last but not least, our third lang. There we go. All right. That should do it. We already see this thing in action. Let's stop our server and restart it. Let's see if what we've been working towards actually works. All right, we see that it has started. Let's see what happens. We're gonna go back to our local host. We're gonna take all this out. We're gonna just type in form so we get a nice fresh one. All right, my name is Kyle, still for a little bit longer, Java, JavaScript, and then Ruby. Let's keep it consistent there. Press submit. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty?
Yep.
There we go. We have our form working. But look at it, take a close look. We have Java, JavaScript, and Ruby. What happened was that all these are lowercase. Now, if you're wondering why are they lowercase, it's because if we look at our code, up here, our values are lowercase. So what's happening is that it's actually passing in the value, not actually the text. So if you're ever wondering why is there a mismatch between my selection and what's actually being put in there, it's because we got to make sure our value is what we want to look like. So let's go ahead and capitalize Java here.
You just do
Java.
like down at the bottom, like name to uppercase, first language to uppercase, second language to uppercase.
So we could technically do that, but we'd want to do capitalize, I guess, because if you did uppercase, it would uppercase the entire thing. So we'd be yelling at our users in the end, right? Saying Java, JavaScript. So, but you are on the right track though. Yeah. Why I would actually like that approach more than what I'm doing is because by convention, values are typically all lowercase just to keep things consistent. So you're actually suggesting the correct way of doing that. But again, lazy developer, so gonna do it this way tonight. But yeah, you can absolutely use dot to uppercase, or I don't know if Java has capitalize, but you could also make your own method to capitalize it as well. Oh, what's going on? run. All right, almost there. Started. Awesome, awesome. Feeling here refreshed. Do we have a? No, that's what we need. I need to go actually to there. There we go. My name is Toby today. And it's gonna be. Let's try it backwards now. All right, let's just try it weirdly. There we go. Awesome. Why did my other stuff not save? Did I just not save it? Oh, I didn't
There's
do all the
3 of them.
options. Yeah, I didn't do all the options. Yeah, so basically what I would do is just that. Come up here, that. Yeah. Let's keep it consistent, Kyle. Do your job. There we go. Save it. Perfect. So then whenever we refresh, it actually work. But that's what I was missing there. All right, let's keep going and see if we need anything else. Yes, we do. We do have a bonus mission. Let's move on there. Any final questions before what we did? Because we just completed the studio. Now we're going to go one step further. So any questions before we start doing that?
You may have answered this. Were the slashes? I did it without the slashes. Is it just conventionally you're supposed to use slashes?
No, no, no. So yeah, you can absolutely do it with just single quotes inside of those double quotes. That's absolutely fine. I just, whenever I pasted something, it automatically did that for me. So I just explained what it was. So
Okay.
what it was, yeah, and what it is that it's just allowing you to inject double quotes into those already double quotes for the string by using that backslash. So yeah, absolutely fine. Great question. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Bonus mission time. All right, 10.6.4 bonus missions. Reformat your form page to use a table instead of an ordered list. Sigh. Fine. Give me a second. Let's see what the other one is. Add a new path to the site to display information from the completed form. That seems a little bit more fun. Let's go ahead and just update this real quick to a table. What did we want to do? Okay, let's just do that just to remind us what a table is and all that fun stuff. So what we do for a table is we say table. There we go. And what we're going to do is that we need to end it in a table. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it vertically. And like with a header and then my 3 items just to make it all next to each other. Why not? All right, first things first, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a table header, which is TH. And then I believe, is it TD? Is that right? Anybody remember? Pop quiz, anybody?
Sure.
I'll take a sure. All right, we'll take a, we're gonna see your third language, I think that I spelled that right. All right, there we go. And then what we're gonna do is that we gotta do a TR for table row, and then a TD also, fingers crossed that's the correct thing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something. TD. Okay. Welcome to lazy programming. Oh, no, 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 I need to do a quote. Oh, no, we don't. Haha. Yes, there we go. Forgot about that. Slash TR. You know how happy you get whenever you just like find something like, I can totally do that and it'll save me like 8 milliseconds. Like, yes, best day ever. All right, first lang.
That and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly, right? I had one at 2 and I can still feel it. It feels great. All right, here we go. Get rid of those list items. We don't need list items anymore because we are not in that order list. We are doing that table. Let's go ahead and stop it and restart and let's see what we have now. Fingers crossed it is still TD. All right, going to form. All right, my name is, what's my name today?
Pebbles.
You say Pebbles?
Yeah.
I'll take Pebbles. JavaScript. And then you know what's going to be Java double Java. There we go. First language is Java, then JavaScript, then Java. I don't think TD was the correct one. Why do I feel like that? Create a table on HTML. Let's see. My internet keeps going slow, and then we are just gonna continue on. There we go. Yes. Okay, I had it right. TR. Yeah. But why aren't you looking prettier? Did I forget something? TH, TD, TT. Yeah, you're fine. Oh, that's why. Okay. I do that, and then TH. TH, and then change that table row. There we go. And then it's still TD for all that. Okay. There you go. HTML. Let's try to make it look a little bit better. Then we can do the fun one. So what I was doing is I accidentally said TH instead of TR there, and TH should have been inside, yada, yada, yada. That's a small little formatting thing. Refresh, cancel form. Pebbles, Java. It's all Java today. There we go. Now it looks a little bit nicer. We got that table going. Cool. Any questions on that? All right. So the next part of our bonus mission then was this number 2, add a new path to the site to display the information for the completed form. Give me a path name. What would that path name be? Anybody have some ideas? Anybody have an idea that what they would want to do? How about this? Let's just call it results. Just something arbitrary. So what I just did is I updated /form to results. I want this stuff to show now when I do /results. If I restart my server now and retry to do this, let's see what happens. See what happens. And restart server, that takes the longest. I would hate to see how many times how many hours of my life I've spent waiting for a computer to restart or server to restart. All right, let's go to form. I'm gonna go back to Kyle. It's gonna be Java, JavaScript, then Ruby. Let's see what happens here. Submit. Oh no, I get an error saying 405 method not allowed. If you see this, this means the method, the posting, was not allowed that we asked the form to do. Remember, we go over to our form, we ask this method to go to a post, which is fine. It's looking for a post mapping now, but it's looking for a post mapping for /form. But ask yourselves, do we have a /form post mapping anymore? The answer for that is no, because we changed it now to that different path /results. So how can we tell our form, okay, when you do the post, don't go to /form. I want you to go to results now. I want you to go to results. We have to tell our form to do that. In order to do that, we have to add the attribute called action and then say results. This is telling you, telling our form, go to results to do the post, AKA try to find the post mapping for results /results. That's what we want to do there. So let's stop and restart. Restart it there. Go back to the form. I'm going to say Kyle once again, Java, JavaScript, then Ruby. Press submit. And now we're back here. As we see, we say /results, and our information is now displayed. All because of that action attribute we just added to the form. Awesome. So if we go back to our studio, that looks like it is the last ask of us here tonight. So any questions about what we just did?
So in class, we did the variable name \, and then there was a variable name in squiggly, like a squiggly bracket. What was that for? Because I thought that was to do this.
So that is called a path variable. And that's only to pass information through the path. The type of variable or the parameter that you wanted to work with in this studio was the request param. What you're talking about is if I put /results /something here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is a path variable. Then to get that information in, what I would have to do is say at path variable string something here. That's how you'd pass information through the actual path. But we weren't doing that. Instead, we were passing it through parameters that go up here. So that's why you wouldn't want to use path variables. You'd want to use request params in this one.
Okay.
Does that kind of help out a little bit?
A little bit.
And I have another question kind of tied to class 2.
Sure.
So you had like in the lecture for the example for the form action, you had form action equals add method equals post. So we don't do that, or just they were just for that particular example?
That was for that particular example, because like we
Okay.
just saw in our bonus missions, this is going to point towards a mapping, aka with results.
Okay.
Take a close look at this right here. That's how they're connected. We know it's a
Okay.
post mapping because method is post. So really take a close look at this one then. That's what exactly this is saying. Look at this line. It's saying when you submit this form, find a post mapping with results in there.
Okay.
AKA find a post mapping with results in there.
Okay.
And that's why this got, this is why that got executed.
Okay.
Wima, to answer or to try to give you a little bit more clarity on there, you're most likely not going to use path variables in most of your stuff. Path variables are for routing purposes, to like just think of where mail goes. It's kind of like how to distribute where your data kind of flows to. AKA, we're not going to really be using that much. You're going to be usually using request parameters, if not all the time, I believe, for most of your assignments.
All right.
So request
Cool.
parameters is typically what you're going to be working with. So don't worry too much about path variables, but know where they come from and why, or where they go essentially.
Okay.
All right. Melanie, Hope, any questions?
No.
Nope.
All right. Well, hopefully this helps. In that case, everybody, that is all I got. Did I start recording? I hope I started recording, right? Okay, thank God. I was like, oh, gotta do it again.
Oh man.
Right? And we're like, no, you guys got to stick on.
I was like, well,
right.
you know what? It was nice knowing you, Cal. I'll have to see you. I'll have to see you later, man.
Right, exactly. Got to do this.